Alrighty, I have the Steam icon overlay in the corner. I should watch the cutscenes. I should listen to all this again. But yeah, alright, we're back here with Pathologic. It's been a while. I was gonna make a joke at the start, like, oh, wonder what this game is. But first of all, I think I already made that at the start of my Bachelor run, my second playthrough. Secondly, just wanted to get into things. Also, I got kind of distracted with everything that's going on. Also, I'm talking over this guy all over, but we can you can read what he's saying. But so yeah, Pathologic. We're doing our next round. We finished Silent Hill. We did a little interlude, and now we're doing the Harspex route.
We've yet to hear a single word.
Oh, I just gotta finish talking so I can like say what I say is important. I think he just finished talking. All right. So as a reminder, of course, I can't wait to watch this and know what's going on. I finished if this is somehow like your first video in the series or whatever, I did finish the entirety of the Bachelor route, including getting all 4 endings. So, well, I still don't know entirely what's going on. I know a lot more about the game than you would in first blush. Like, for instance, I have a lot better idea of what's going on here than you would expect. And so I will be discussing those. If there are like spoilers for like the Bachelor route, and if you haven't played this at all, you should probably play it before I talk about that. But yeah. So here's the children all bearing. That's Capella. That's Tai Cheek, and I don't forget who the other 2 are. So it's the children of the town. But anyways, yeah, I also I was gonna say I deleted all my saves. I guess there's some here still, but I backed up all my saves because I had in the save folder in my computer, I had over 800, which is an indication of how much I save. But alright, you guys understand this now.
All about trickery to you? Wherever have you come from?
No. I detest trickery. But if we ourselves are to suffer deception, our hands are no longer tied. Where are we?
Well, the muscular contraction is there. Means you're already inside of him. This must be one of the ventricles, right here.
What a silly place. It's stuffed. So it's not real for now? I don't think it has started yet.
Does it matter what it's made of? It's definitely struggling. We need to perform Sectio Transversalis. Cut the wall. There's no other way out. What else is there to do?
I know what to do. Those who favor hard logic and direct action are bound to be misguided. Only a miracle can set us free without us having to destroy something. And I can do miracles. Just let me.
Will you please be quiet? You're a liar and a thief. Who is going to believe you when you keep lying to yourself? The truth is my shepherd. Whatever happens, I will find answers, and justice will be restored. I will perform the operation. Medica morbo adhibe.
Don't you go all bossy on me, clever clogs. You will act justly, but your justice will blind you and become his demise. This calls for the gentle hand of a surgeon. Step aside, both of you.
Your gentle hands are used to killing, not giving life. You will inevitably do harm. As for Brainy, he has no regard for casualties at all. Neither of you knows compassion.
Yes, it seems unlikely that we'll get along well. But there's only one truth.
Any choice is right as long as it's willed. That's the truth of the matter.
Only the heart will show you the right choice. Stop thinking about yourselves. Think of the sick. He's in pain. I can't see it yet, but I can feel it.
It's not even a trap. It's a grave. Subipsum funis sumus. Can't say I hold a soft spot for it.
I can see that. You're full of hate. Stuffed or not, it's breathing. I can hear it. It can be healed rather than killed.
You mean you won't become a killer? But you will. Mark my word, that's exactly what will happen. But I can avoid it.
No, we won't ever get along. I suggest we be on our way. The sooner the better.
Off we go then?
Let's go. The clock is ticking.
Right, so I forget what I was saying before that, but that's cool having a better idea of what they're talking about here. I don't know if I'm like reading too much into it or not understanding something, but it sounded almost like there's the implication that the stage there is like the heart of I forget his name, the guy that died at the start, the main Kane guy. But anyway, so we know the deal. Just to spoil things, just as a reminder, the idea is the Bachelor wants to destroy the town to take the tower. He's like the I forget. One's like ideal, one's pragmatist, and one's like in the middle. The Bachelor wants to save the town at the cost of the tower, and the Changeling wants to preserve both. I want to read these all again silently to myself, just as a reminder of what's going on. I shall read them out loud here. So we've got the Bachelor. The history of humanity witnessed a number of catastrophes that demonstrated without a shadow of doubt the pettiness of human achievement and the triumph of the invincible evil. Outbreaks of infectious diseases have from time to time wiped towns and cities off the map, are undoubtedly among those. However, smart and virtuous, the people caught up in these destructive events have repeatedly come to the conclusion that it's no use trying to fight these circumstances. The best you can do is bite the bullet and cope with your losses. This is the story of a person who's managed to work a miracle and defeat a seemingly unvanquishable foe. So we did that. The Haruspects. How do they call upon the Menku, the faithful of a Wardenkin, known by their hands for their butchers, and for their eyes for their surgeons? They who follow the lines, they are the leaders of the kin. They who speak the Urdogs. They who know the secret art of Haruspiki. What is a Haruspex? Reading the future in the entrails, he knows that a body bears semblance to the universe. His scalpel follows the lines of the body. His steps follow the lines of his kin's fortune. A Haruspex can tell a true line from a false one. That is entrusted with power. A Haruspex who's confused by his path gets buried into the deep black flesh of the earth. This is the story of a person who's avoided the contradiction, eager to rip a doomed life apart, masterfully fulfilling his true purpose in the process. And we got the Changeling. Clara had a dream. A foggy morning, having passed the wicket gate, she is now dawdling somewhere. A pile of dry leaves wrestling in her wake. A familiar voice calls out to her. She lifts her eyes and sees her own twin sister point at an old man convulsing and weeping in unbearable agony. Clara darts for the man to save him with her healing touch, but so does her sister. The girls exchange confused glances. This is the story of the thief girl who has chosen her own past, ceased to be the instrument of his blind fate, and refashioned herself into a free miracle worker. So you're supposed to do them in order. Like I said, we finished The Bachelor, so today we're beginning with the Haruspects.
Burak is coming back to his hometown after an absence of 10 years. Born to a family endowed with a caste right to cut living beings open, he was preparing himself for this line of work since childhood. Artemi's father, Isidore Burak, a wise man and philosopher well respected by the locals, had admitted to the limits of traditional knowledge and sent his son off to study modern medicine in the academy. Artemi has been traveling from town to town, learning theoretical and practical surgery for several years now. Suddenly, a mysterious letter appears with his father giving him notice of his impending demise and begging Artemi to return and accept succession. Unwilling to wait for a regular freight train, Artemi follows the rails through the steppe until he's caught up with by a small shunt locomotive. This is how young Haruspects arrives in the town.
I'm getting cut off a lot today. So his name is Artemi Burak. I was mispronouncing it the entire time of the first playthrough. Also, did we start... Is this our, like, home base out in the rails? Oh, scary looking guys out here. Also... Are these guys all gonna fight me? Or are they allied to me? Because my first playthrough, I hypothesized that, like, there's one cast of enemy allied with you in each playthrough. Also, are we gonna start up in combat? Or are they gonna, like... Is this just a cutscene? Are they gonna, like... They wouldn't start you in combat, right? I mean, I guess they might. I wish I remembered how quick save and quick load work. I do have my map in front of me, but it's off to the side. It's not directly in front of me. Well, if I die, I die, I guess. But we'll see. It seemed a lot more involved of an opening cutscene than The Bachelor had, if I remember correctly. I guess he can just kill everyone, right? That is his purview. Also, do we get to play with their corpses? I mean, I am a Haruspex, right? Do I start wounded because of the fight? Loading the world. Oh, I saw... Okay. I do start very low in health. From this point forward, I'm the eldest member of the Buruk family. I'm Menku. I'm the heir to my father, Isidore Buruk, a warden of the kin, the supreme Menku of many years. The inheritance of my father will nourish my mind and my body alike. It's a question of life and death for me to claim it, for it will imbue my dissolute existence with reason. I am one of the Menku, those who know the lines, those who open up the body, those who link the earthly to the under-earth. The duty of the Menku is to serve the children of Boto, to interpret coincidence, to point out decision informed by wisdom. The very reason of my existence is to carry out this duty. Who will I become if I fail to bind my destiny with my father's calling? That is my mission. Okay. Whoops, wrong button again. We're gonna save here. Just because I know this game is time sensitive. So we start with very low health and low reputation, which is to be expected. We have the two wards here to tell me about everything. Wards, I don't know if that's the right word. The executor. So, Buruk, you're almost dead. Got a few more minutes to live. I'm here to solemnly announce that. Not much can be done on such short notice. You've been hit on the head several times, and the locals have heavy fists. Not sure you've noticed already, but you've got 4 stab wounds, one of them seemingly rather grievous. Massive blood loss, too, and the local climate doesn't allow for too much strain. Any heart conditions? Aren't you a funny guy? Well, your health is in a sorry state. Am I wrong to suspect you haven't eaten for a couple days and had no sleep last night? Your expression betrays you. Your hunger and exhaustion are also critical. Oh, great. Yeah, those are going to be up, aren't they? Yeah, no wonder they don't want you to start on this. Start with the Haruspex. I wonder which of these unfortunate afflictions will become the end of you first. So what's your plan? Now, what do you recommend? What's the chef's recommendation here? You'll need a first aid kit to restore your health, or at least some bandages or tourniquets. They'd stop the bleeding. Painkillers would help you make it even further. Where do I get them? You can mug the passers-by or barter with them. Children will gladly trade most valuable things in exchange for what others consider junk. Moreover, our drunkards usually have bandages on them. When you're drunk, it makes sense to always be prepared for a fight. When they're hungover, however, they'd sell their own sister for a bottle of water. Water is scarce here. Is that enough to make it to the evening? You're also hungry, aren't you? You're very hungry. I'm just going to tell you about food shops. You don't have to mug people to sate your hunger. Food can also be found in shops, although your reputation would preclude you from enjoying their hospitality. On the other hand, a whole warehouse of meat was robbed yesterday when it was unlocked for shipping procedures. How do I find it? It's still unlocked and unguarded. You won't miss it. The warehouses are within a stone's throw from here. They also serve as a lovely shelter for the at odds with the law crowd, by the way. You've got that in common, so they'll most likely welcome you. Will you make it to the warehouses? To be honest, I'm dreadfully tired. If any of the noble town people trust you enough, you can always sleep at their place. That's why I could sleep everywhere as the bachelor. That makes sense. Just remember that you're an outlaw for now. The only person who believes you is Vlad Ogimsky. Olgimsky. I'll just go with my default pronunciations for now. I'll show you where he lives. You can get some sleep at his mansion. Don't forget to apply bandages before that, unless dying in your sleep is a career opportunity of your choice, that is. I'm an outlaw? Be careful. Dodge strangers. They're afraid of you now and will attack you in a heartbeat. Don't trust anyone. Speak to my fellow executor. We wanted to have a word with you, too. Okay. Yeah, that's where Vlad Olgimsky is, if you, if this is somehow your first character playing with. Welcome to your hometown, Warden. It's been a long time since you've been here. Probably don't even remember the spicy odor of twire in the air. Yeah, do you know why you were attacked? No? You've been mistaken for another person. They're looking for a murderer. A very important and well-respected man was killed last night. The townsfolk love the deceased more fervently than some children love their fathers. Don't be too hard on them for their outbursts. This is how to get our reputation back up, I'm assuming. Should I also feel sorry for them? Apologize, perhaps? They are naive. In towns like this, reputation is everything. Books are judged by their covers here, even after the last page is turned. No one is going to examine you in detail. A minor rumor here, a gossip there, you're a public enemy already. You've got zero reputation. The only option available to you is living with the consequences of this. What should I do? Restore your reputation. Do that now, and at any other time it becomes too low. People are foolish and weak. One day you're beat to a pulp and laughed at, the next you're worshipped. As for the third day, well, I think you caught my drift. What I'm saying is, any misdeed can be atoned for, and you'll be loved just as fervently as you were hated. How do I restore my reputation? Do good deeds. This town is small. Rumors spread like fire, growing 100-fold in the process. And they're spread by children, too, so your reputation will be restored. Just don't be wasteful with it. It's fragile. What makes it low? The decrease of your reputation depends first and foremost on the number of living beings you've made less living. It also depends on how you influence the people whose fates are bound to yours. You'll meet those special people. They're called the bound sometimes. A silly custom, but a useful one. Special people? 30 or so, each of them possessing their own unique traits. All of them hate one another, all of them are habitual liars, all of them deserve to live. Yet some of them are incompatible. Someone has to die so that another may live. And you know what that means. How will I recognize these people? That's not hard. They're striking personalities, locally famous, although not all of them are of noble descent. Beggars, outcasts, little children even. Bound to be closer to perfection than the common crowd. I see. Thanks for the advice. Alright, so that's everything. We will save here again. Is my reputation decreasing as it... I think it's just how it goes. Let me just press every button as a reminder of how this game works. I have no weapons, I have gloves. Oh, I do have some painkillers on me, and some, a tourniquet, that's pretty good. I got a thing of water. And I got some kerosene for the lamp. Okay, I guess my hunger isn't that bad. It's not that urgent, but it's not the best. Artemi Burke, I gotta remember that pronunciation. Oh, this is my bound list that I don't have yet. Oh, and here's a letter we gotta read at some point. That's the map. It's been a while since I last played, so... I gotta read this, but I'll read this tomorrow because we're already basically at time. We got not a whole lot done today, but... I mean, it's the very first episode. You don't expect to get a whole lot done, but Man, am I glad to be playing this again. I had such a good time with The Bachelor. Oh, hopefully I'll set and just as good of a time here too. Although I will say, I don't know whether I have to do 1 or 2 passes of this. We'll see how it happens, but hopefully we won't have to do 2 passes. But well, for now we'll call it here though. And as always, thank you for watching.